Is your church using multiple giving platforms in the hopes of increasing your tithes and offerings? In this video, I'm going to make a compelling case on why this approach is making your job harder, not easier, and why it's probably not resulting in more money to your ministry. Okay, so let's jump right into it. Online giving, this is not something new. Churches have been incorporating it into their giving structure for years. But what is new is this explosion of all the ways that people can give money to individuals and organizations. We've got Cash App, Venmo, Zelle, PayPal, Google Pay, Apple Pay, and a dozen of other P2P apps. And this isn't even including merchant processors and other giving platforms that enable your ministry to accept donations with credit card or directly through your bank. Now, church leaders are probably thinking to themselves, well, why don't we enable our people to give with this app or that app too? And if we do this, more people will give. And if more people give, we can do more ministry. Before they know it, they're accepting donations through PayPal, Zelle, Cash App, Venmo, and more. And they're thinking to themselves, well, our people will give more. But this is where it gets complicated. See, in order to properly track all of that giving across multiple platforms, you have to log into each one to know who has given and how much they gave. Then you have to input all that data into either like a spreadsheet or maybe a church software like ChurchTrac so that you can properly know who's given to what fund and how much they gave. And here's where it gets worse. Every online giving platform has fees. And by the way, if they say they don't, be very skeptical. And every single one of them is different. And as you record all of these online donations, you have to somehow account for these fees and have an easy way to record them so that you know how much someone has given minus the fees. And this is a headache. Now you may say, yes, this is complicated, but my giving is for sure going to increase. But will it? Here's the reality. Yes, you may initially see a small uptick in your church giving, but it's not because you're accepting donations through multiple platforms. It is because you're talking about giving and putting it in the minds of your people. Now, you do not have people sitting in your church that are saying, you know, I would love to give to my church, but until they accept online donations through Cash App, I'm not giving a dime. No, that's not the case. And even if you did have people that said that, do you think they would give regardless? I think not. Now, here's the other kicker with accepting donations through multiple providers. Not all of them have an easy way to do recurring donations. Some of them don't have recurring donations. And by the way, this is the #1 way to increase online giving. Fact, recurring donors give 42% more per year than one-time donors. That's a big deal. And some platforms don't even have that. So here are 3 benefits from using one single giving platform for your church as opposed to using multiple giving platforms. So #1, it simplifies giving for your donors. Your donors aren't having to guess which platform to give or wondering, is there one better than the other? No, this eliminates a lot of confusion for some of your donors who may not be super comfortable with technology. And then another benefit, #2, is that it simplifies giving for your leadership. Not having to log into multiple apps or track all the giving from different funds and different people while simultaneously tracking all the fees for all these platforms, that's crazy and that gets really confusing. So by using one platform, you really minimize having to deal with all that. And then #3, it minimizes risk when you're only using one online donation platform. Because every time you add an online donation platform, you as the church are accepting the risk that goes along with it. And there is risk. Everything from refunds to chargebacks to dealing with fraud, because people do try to commit fraud against churches. Churches are actually a really big place that fraudsters like to take advantage of. And by using one single platform as opposed to multiple, you're able to minimize the amount of time you're having to look for all that fraud and keep track of it. And then a bonus benefit is that it saves your church money. If you're using a church management software like ChurchTrac, you can typically get special pricing for online donations that results in your church saving hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars, yes, a year in online giving fees. So If your church is using multiple giving platforms, or you were maybe thinking about it, I hope this info changed your mind. Now, this video was just one of the many resources that we offer to help equip your church so that way you can build the body of Christ. If you are looking at online giving platforms right now and you're trying to figure out which one is the best for your church, I recommend you check out this live stream that Matt and I did a little while back. We pull back the veil of the online giving industry, yes we do, and we show how online giving fees work. We talk about what to look for in an online giving provider, and we look at some of the things that you should definitely avoid, and so much more. So check that out. See ya.